They're -8 going to New England. New England has obviously struggled mightily. Over under here again in a Bills game is 41.5.
Thought they were going to put up a ton of points in this game with the Giants, and they didn't, obviously. They were very sluggish. They were very sloppy, a lot of mistakes. I would be willing to take a stab number 2 at this with them here for a couple reasons. Number one, the last really 2 seasons, Allen has owned this Patriots defense. The only time he hasn't torched them was that win game, if you remember, where Belichick handed the ball off 38 times. That's the only game that Allen hasn't absolutely torched them. That Patriots defense has a lot of injuries, as we know. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I think the reason that total's so low is Mac Jones and that Patriots offense looks so bad. You basically saw Kendrick Bourne make a few gutsy plays. Mondre Stevenson had a couple runs. That was it. They don't have the ability to either sustain drives or hit big plays. And when you can't do either, it results in a lot of punts, a lot of sacks. I think there's several angles to play in this game. Number one, I think you can play the over in this game. I think you can play it because I do think the Bills can put up 30-plus points in this game, and I think they probably will, weather permitting, of course. What I saw watching that Bills game is you lose sight of the fact that when a team puts up 9 points, you say, oh, wow, that defense played really well. They didn't. They played okay. They made some big plays when they had to. But realistically, the Giants could have had 20-plus points in that game. And I mean, we're talking about a Giants team that was down to basically guys off the street playing offensive line. I think this Bills defense, unfortunately, is still figuring their way out, -3 of their biggest contributors. I think that the over is in play, but I think what you really have to do is, if this is at 8.5, I think you have to tease it with the Bills. Teasing this under the key number of 3, I think that's top play number 1, and then I think you look at the over number 2.
I don't think the Bills are all of a sudden a bad team or a bad offense. I mean, the NFL has been so inconsistent across the board this year. I mean, you look what the Eagles did against the Jets this last week. It's just so inconsistent. But the Bills are still a good team and a really good offense. So I love getting a little bit of a discount potentially even. And you could say, how is 8 or 8.5 a discount? Because I think it could be over 10 if things hadn't gone the way they had here recently. I mean, depending on the numbers, I was even going to say I'd be interested in laddering some alternate spreads here, because I think they could absolutely destroy New England. I know their defense isn't as strong with the injuries, but you look at, I mean, the Saints beat this team 34-0. And I know a lot of that was defensive touchdowns and stuff. There's a little noise in that number, but 38-3 against the Cowboys. I mean, I definitely see this game pretty easily being 45-14 or something like that.
But you're right. I mean, I think this has all the makings of 38-10. I mean, it really does. And, that's why I said I think the over's in play. I think you can tease the Bills. I think you can look at a Bills team total. I like your thought of a ladder or an alt total there. I think all of that is potentially on the table. But I think to me, the teaser is to me, that's the lock play for me.
Yeah.